Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. This is Joni Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. Today, we'll talk about DataSelf Analytics for Sage X3. Quick introduction. We've been in business for almost 15 years. And for 15 years, we've been working with Sage, doing integration and enterprise BI analytics and data warehousing with Sage products. Sage X3 is something we started to work more recently in the past few years, but I'm excited to talk about what we're adding, the value we're adding for Sage X3. So one of the most important things is decision makers are starting to demand timely and informed decision making. Complaints we hear quite often from people coming from the Sage X3 world is that they have the data is right there in X3, and sometimes other data silos or data sources, but it's so hard to get it out. It's so hard for decision makers to get information or insights from the data in Sage X3. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And a main question you might have is, why DataSelf? First of all, among all the BI, the mid-market BI vendors out there, we have the most empowering reporting platform. It's very easy to use, and it allows decision makers, business people, to easily find their information and answer their questions quite often with no training. It's really empowering. When we compare to other tools, we usually blow them out of the water. And when I do the presentation, hopefully, I'll show you that. But that's our main goal, is empowering decision makers to be more self-sufficient in answering their questions without calling for expert assistance. Also, we empower the IT department or the consulting department, the people who do more the more IT focused or the data geeks, with a very robust, very scalable, industry standard enterprise data warehouse and analytics platform. So we empower really well decision makers as well as the people maintaining the reporting infrastructure. So that's most important focus we have. Second, and this is something we hear a lot from clients coming from the Sage X3 world, is that their reports with competing products are slow. Either they slow down X3, or when they run reports, it takes too long, sometimes minutes to run a report, even hours. With DataSelf, we guarantee we do not slow down your Sage X3, and all reports in DataSelf will run under 10 seconds. Usually in a few seconds, but 10 seconds is our benchmark, and we guarantee that. So really fast. No matter how much data you have, it will run that fast. Next, must have reports and key performance indicators ready on day one. We've been doing this for 15 years, and we realized that at the end of the day, decision makers want reports, want dashboards, they want insights from their data. They don't care the tool that you're providing this information. They don't care if it's Excel, if it's in a web browser, whatever the tool is. They want insights into the information anytime, anywhere. We perceived this need early in our journey, and we started to build reports and dashboards out of the box. Today, for X3, we have more than 5,000 reports and dashboards covering financials, receivables, sales, inventory, purchasing, payables, CRM, like from Salesforce.com or other CRM systems. We cover a lot, ready on day one. The idea is, again, empowering decision makers to make more and better informed decisions right off the bat, not waiting for months, sometimes years, to build an equivalent solution using competing products. And finally, I'm not sure if this is so appropriate for webinars, but many people tell that competing products are kind of clunky, kind of ugly, and we have the sexy product. I would say we have the beautiful product. It shows information in a very beautiful way, very clean, very informative. The point is to inspire decision makers looking at their data. And having kind of being the sexy solution is actually a good thing. So I guess we put in our bullet point. All right, those are the reasons why people embrace DataSelf. Now, how do we do it? Well, here I'm showing on the far left the data sources, Sage X3. We can also pull data from other data sources, other ERP systems, CRM systems, Excel, Google Analytics, social media, and whatnot. But we bring the data to our DataSelf Analytics that can be completely in the cloud or also on premises. We have both approaches. If you are a data geek, so you'll know that we work with enterprise level, very robust, very reliable platform. Infrastructure, we use AWS and Azure. Data warehousing, we use SQL Server in our own ETL to make the process easier and simpler. And on the analytics side, we provide Tableau and Power BI, as well as Excel for reporting. But what decision makers really care about is having a lot of reports and dashboards available out of the box. And as I mentioned, we have more than 5,000 covering a broad range of reporting needs. And decision makers will be able to access the reports and dashboards using different devices, Windows, Mac computers, mobile devices, web browsers. Mobile devices will support native apps in Android and iOS. The good news is decision makers will be able to slice and dice their data in millions of ways, pretty much with no training or very little training. So really empowering them is our main focus again. And for the data geeks, for the IT people, we empower you with an infrastructure that is robust, that is easy to maintain, and is highly scalable and heavily documented when it comes to support. So peace of mind for both end users and IT alike. Alrighty, let's take a look at the product. So now I'm going to switch to the web browser where I have DataSelf Analytics. And I'm going to start with one of the most empowering part of the solution for decision makers. Many decision makers, they are data hungry. They want information. They want to slice and dice their data. They want to have access to the data anytime, anywhere. But they typically don't have time to learn complex reporting tools. They don't have time to go through how these tools work. So with DataSelf, we also support natural language query. And if your users, decision makers, speak English, they are ready to use the product. They just need to know English. If they don't know English, sorry, this part will not cover, and we have other pieces of the software that will help people who don't speak English. But people who speak English, they just come and they talk with the solution. For instance, right now I'm going to play the scenario of a VP of sales, and I'm going to say, I want to see sales by salesperson. So I'm going to type sales by salesperson. I intentionally mistyped by, I put BU to show that still the computer tries to make sense of what you're saying, shows you some options. In this case, yes, I want to see the sum of sales by salesperson. I confirm I want to see this, and voila, I see sales by salesperson. It's that easy. If you know English, you can do it. You can do a lot of reports, and you can get a lot of answers by doing this. Now, in real life, when the person asks a question, they have an idea in their mind, but maybe they're not articulating it enough yet for the computer to nail down the answer. So in this example, when I look at my sales, home account has $90 million in sales. That makes no sense. And then I realize in my sample database, I have 2 years worth of data. And in my analysis, I only want to see sales in 2019. So what I do is I type in 2019. The tool will check, will give me options how I want to filter this data. And in this case, I want to see invoice date in 2019. That's what I want to see. I choose that option, and now the sales for home account is $9 million, and now we're talking. But it's that easy. Knowing English, you can do it. Zero training. You just have to learn how to pose the questions and the computer will answer. For instance, what if I want to break down sales by period, by month? I type by month. The tool will check, yes, invoice dates month. I confirm. And right now it shows in 2019 by month sales by salesperson. Very easy. And maybe I want to change the chart, to a different chart type. Maybe it's more informative. This example, I see by salesperson, by month, my sales. So back to the main focus of DataSelf, empowering decision makers with easy access to the data. Natural language, pretty much, it can get easier than that. Now, once a person builds a report like this, if they want to save it for later to see the same information, or if they want to share with other people, they simply click Save As. They put a name, sales by rep in 2019. I can save in a folder where we have security already pre-configured. So if I save in the sales folder, all salespeople that have access to the sales folder will see this report as soon as I click Save. That easy to create, that easy to share with other people. Now, there is more. I just showed an example of building a query from scratch. Let's take a look at some of the reports available out of the box. I mentioned we have more than 5,000. I'm going to show about 4 or 5. I'm going to show some aging, AR aging, some companies very helpful. I'm going to show a couple of sales reports, also very helpful for companies that are highly sales driven. And I'm also going to show a little bit of financials for those of you that are in the finance department. So starting in the receivables, this dashboard shows me the total receivables right now in by receivables aging bucket. And the color legend for these bars is also shown here on the legend. Here I can see where the money is coming from a geography standpoint, bigger bubbles, bigger balances, and then the balances are sliced by the color theme, just like in the legend. So in Texas, I have a lot of on-time invoices. This part shows me balance due by due date. Here I see by customer, and again, showing the same color legend for old invoices and whatnot, by document and details. Now, typically when people are analyzing a dashboard, they want to interact with their data. For instance, let me see my very old invoices. Who have them? Where are they? In details about it. So when I chose, it shows me on the country where it's coming from, customers that owe me these late invoices, the document numbers, and the details. Or maybe I want to see the slightly late invoices. Usually these invoices are going to be paid very shortly. Maybe the money is already in the in the mail, or is just an email or a call away to be sure the payment is going to get is going to be done. And here when I look at payment by due date, I see there's a big payment due here on September 23rd. What about it? I can click on that bar, and then it drills down further. It filters down further the dashboard. It shows me that most of the balance due comes from a single customer. And if I click that single customer, it will show me right here the details, the invoice, and now hopefully I could make a decision like calling the customer and trying to get this invoice paid. Anyhow, the beauty is you do not need to be trained, aside from minutes sometimes, to learn how to take these out-of-the-box reports and dashboards and slice and dice them and interact with them just by pointing and clicking. And if you're looking at this dashboard on a mobile device, how does it look? Right now I can simulate. I click this View Device Layouts. And right now I'm putting that dashboard, how it will look on a cell phone, and all the information is laid vertically. And still on the phone, if I click on these data points, it will also be interactive, just like I did here on the web browser. Again, highly interactive to allow decision makers to become self-sufficient. All right, let's see another example. I'm going to show now the sales year over year. So if you're a sales-driven organization, many of you most likely will find a lot of value for your salespeople to have this kind of dashboard. Right here, we have total sales this year, total last year, the variance in the percentage. And right now I'm looking sales through the period 9. And I see from a geography standpoint where the money, where we sold or where we shipped the products, trend analysis by period, and some customer and product count. Now, in my sample data, let's say that I only want to compare a certain quarter. Let's say I want to compare just the third quarter. I'm going to pick 5, 6, and 7 periods, press apply. And now I'm comparing last year versus this year, third quarter. And I grew by about 13%. These are the customers with the biggest sales this year, biggest product with the biggest sales, trend analysis and whatnot. Maybe I want to see the whole year, this versus last year. Just pick and choose here. And right now it shows me that in my sample database, the current month, I'm through October halfway. So last year, right now will be declining because last year was a full year versus this year that is almost complete. Let me just go to the period 10. So I'm going to have a year-to-date comparison. And on a year-to-date comparison, I'm kind of, growing, even though I'm not completely done with the month of October. But what if I want to see trend analysis? Who are my top customers by sales growth? I just sort this table by clicking this icon. Now, these are the biggest variances, meaning the biggest sales growth since last year to date. Customers with the biggest growth. What about customers with the biggest decline? It's a good question, right? I just click again. Now it shows customers sorted by customers with the biggest decline. Is that a problem? Do you want to see what products are driving the decline? Sure. Let's select my top 2 customers by sales decline. When I do that, it automatically filters the whole dashboard to show the totals for these 2 customers, total sales this year, last year variances, where I'm shipping the products, trend analysis, and what products I sold. And let me sort this in order by decline. And these are the products with the biggest decline for these 2 customers since last year. Very empowering for salespeople to figure out these details. And when I'm doing these things, let's say, suppose I'm going to pick one of the customers here, like this customer here, and I'm going to filter the whole dashboard only to show this customer. And then let's say that I want to see details, the sales details. I can click sales details. And when I do that, the solution will pop at the bottom, a report showing me every single invoice, document number, invoice date, any detail that you want to show from those transactions would be on this bottom section. Let me take a data point with more data because I just picked one that had little data. So this one probably is going to have more data. There it is. So that customer that I selected, he has a lot of transactions here at the bottom for both years. All right. So this is an example of how salespeople can interact with the reports. And let's say if I want to share this information with someone else, maybe I want to export to PDF, export to Excel, maybe do some further manipulation Excel or to PowerPoint and whatnot. I just click the download button and then export as an image. I can export the data to Excel. I can export as a PDF, or I can export to PowerPoint if I want to do some kind of presentation. Also, sometimes people want to receive the reports in their inbox, in their email, and not go into the dashboard per se. So they can click subscribe, and you, the admin person, can do a subscription for your users, or as a user, I can just click subscribe. I'm going to add myself. I'm going to add some other people, my team. I just pick the name of the people, and I add all the people that I want. and I tell if I want to only receive this particular tab, or if I want to receive the whole workbook, I want to pick when I want to receive this report, this schedule report, and I click subscribe, and that's it. Many organizations spend a ton of hours every week or every month distributing reports, being sure the right person gets the right report at the right time. This tool can completely automate, and even users can schedule report distribution by themselves. Again, admin person can control the whole thing, but even users can do that job, offloading part of the IT work to users who really want reports and dashboards. All right, let's show this main tab, which is a way for salespeople to look at different data coming from X3. So in this example, I have open sales orders, actual sales, and aging. All of these three data points or data sources are usually important for salespeople to be on top of their customers and be sure there are no problems. For instance, when I look at the aging, I see that one of my customers, the second biggest customer by aging, has a lot of, these late invoices. Is that a problem for my current, sales orders? I don't know. Let me select the customer. By selecting the customer, the whole dashboard changes. It even shows me that, yes, this customer has an open order today to be shipped about $191,000, and these are the products. Will this get out of the door if there's a late invoices? I don't know. As a salesperson, I want to be sure to double check that. Maybe, the payment is already in the mail. The client already has a check number. You can just unlock and ship the product today. You don't want to wait for tomorrow, the next day, for the client to call, where are my products? And then you're going to be reactive and not proactive. So having the ability to slice and dice the data, change things dynamically with no assistance from outside people is very helpful. Finally, in this particular page here, right now, my goal for the period is $3.5 million, and I'm slightly below. Let's say that the goal was actually, let's say, $3 million instead. In this example, I crossed the goal already, so the bars for sales are blue. Or if the goal was actually $5 million instead, and what happens is I'm way below the goal, and now the bars are kind of red. So showing different colors to help salespeople know how well they're doing versus the goal for the month. Very easy, very empowering as well. The next example I'm going to show is for the people in the finance department, accounting. I'm going to show how P&L, profit and losses, balance sheet kind of report work in DataSelf. And it's something really empowering and really easy to use. So right here, I'm seeing a P&L by year. Right now, we're showing from period 1 through 7. And if I want to see the actual P&L by period, not only the total, I can expand the year. And right now I'm seeing by period and the total for the year. Super easy. Maybe I want to see years side by side. Let's say all years. I just pick all years, and now I see all the years and the P&L side by side. Maybe I want to compare, see how things are growing over time. And I press just the measures, budget, variance, and whatnot. And right there, I see the variances. In this example, I'm still comparing through the periods. Right now I am in period 10. So if I want to see year to date across the 4 years, I just pick, all those periods. And right now I'm doing a year to date comparison across the last 4 years. All right, let me simplify this a little bit to show something that I consider extremely valuable. Now, when you're looking at, like say, a P&L balance sheet, sometimes you want to drill down into more details. You want to drill down to the balances. You want to drill down to the GL transactions, to the actual transactions behind the scenes. Typically, when you do that with other reporting tools, it becomes a multi-page approach. When you drill down on the P&L, you go to another page that shows you, let's say, the balances. You drill down again, you go to another page with the details like GL transactions. You drill down again, you go to another page. So it's a multi-page process. And sometimes if you are going through this analysis and you're on page 2 or 3, and you get a distraction, you get a call, you get a visitor, Quite often, and this happens with me a lot, when I go back to page 3 or 4, I just can't remember why I was looking at that page. I forgot. And then quite often, either I have to start all over to see where I was, or I just drop it and I do something else. Missed opportunities because it's hard to remember where you were. So we created a single page analytics. The idea is to allow people to analyze their financial data and drill down without having to go through a multi-page process. Let me show an example. Payroll right now is going up, actually slightly going. Let me just show an example here that actually is going up. There it is. Payroll is going up to the period 8. Why? I didn't hire anyone. Of course, taxes probably, right? Anyhow, why? Well, I'm gonna click payroll or any data point in this report. What happens is on the screen, I have a new panel showing my balances for all GL accounts, all sub accounts, dimensions, fiscal year, fiscal period, debits and credits and whatnot. And if I want to drill down further into GL transactions, I just click to expand, and now I'm looking GL batch numbers, transaction dates, descriptions, all the details. And if I'm looking at a particular data point here and I get a distraction, when I come back, I can see, oh yeah, I was looking, at the payroll, how it's going up. It's still highlighted. I was looking at these transactions. I'm looking at all the filters. It's easier to get back in your line of thinking and hopefully make a decision, have an aha moment, and move on. So financials with single page analytics is one of the features that is super exciting. We have a lot of momentum because pretty much every single financial reporting tool, when you drill down, you go to a multi-page process that is usually frustrating to deal with. Of course, you can print these things into Excel, PDF if you want to do further manipulation, but the ability to easily drill down, it's really empowering. All right. My last example here to show is, so far, I've been showing what is called a viewer experience. Is a user that quite often doesn't need training at all to use DataSelf, or needs very little training to be able to become very self-sufficient. And these people have limited rights to create new things. They can usually only interact with the data, but not necessarily create reports from scratch. Even though with natural language you can, but with the other pieces you cannot. I'm going to show how to build a new dashboard from scratch. So right now I am in the data sources part, and you have to be a little bit more data geek to go through this exercise. But you go to all data sources, and as you can see, we have payables, receivables, CRM. We have a lot of different data sources pulling from different locations, X3, CRM, Google Analytics, and whatnot. In my example, I'm going to open SA revenues and create a new workbook. That means a new report from scratch. First of all, let me show how many records I'm going to be querying right now in my this exercise. My sample database has 31 million records, so not too bad, right? It's a decent size sample database, and I want to show that even though it's a fairly decent size sample database, reports will run under 10 seconds as I am building them. It's really cool. All right, so I'm going to build a dashboard from scratch showing 3 different widgets. One is showing sales by customer, by product this month. I want to see numbers to the penny. Second, I want to see sales and gross profit trends over time. So is gross profit growing or declining over time, percentage-wise? And third, how are my sales by state in the size of my sales? So let's do it. You have to be a little bit more data geek to learn this, but you'll see if you know how to drag and drop, you can do it, or anyone can do that if they go through this drag and drop functionality. So my first report, I want to see by customer. So customer name, drag to my rows. These are all my customers. I want to see sales, drag and drop. So right now, sales by customer. Who are my top customers? I just sort descending, and these are the top customers by sales in the whole company history. Well, I want to see this month, so let's take invoice date, and drag to my columns. By default, the tool will put my years, all my years in my database. I can expand from year to go to the quarter level. I expand quarter to go to the month level. And now I have all my company history all the way through December, which is my current month. But hey, I don't want to see everything. I only want to see this month. So let's take invoice date and put in my filters shelf. When I put something in my filter shelf, it becomes a filter. This example, I have the filter on the right, and I can pick beginning and end date very easily. Or I can select relative date, which is very popular. With relative date, I can see today's sales or weeks, months, and quarters. I'm going to pick month, and now this report is showing this month's sales. Or if I pick previous months, I have the previous month. If I choose a few months, 3, 4, 2, it's that easy. And very easy to change to quarters, years, and whatnot. So super easy. Okay, back to this month's sales. I want to see sales by customer, by product this month. So how can I add product? I go to product, find the product, and drag and drop. And there it is. By customer, by product, sales to the penny this month. And if I want to reverse the order, I just put my customer after my product, and the report will reflect that change. Again, if you know how to drag and drop, you can do it. Maybe I also want to see quantity sold. Sure. Right now in my sample database, I actually have pound shipped. I'm going to drag pound shipped in my report. So by default, it will show like in my rows. I'm going to take product names and put in my columns instead. And there it is, pound shipped, sales, and I just build the report. I've had many clients that they learn how to build reports from scratch using this part of the functionality just by watching the demo. Again, if you know how to drag and drop, you can do it. There's a lot of things you can learn, but the basics are amazingly empowering and easy to use. Okay, second report, I'm going to see churn analysis, sales and gross profit percentage over time. So let me select sales, double click invoice date. It shows me sales by year. I want to see by period, so let me choose month instead. And right now it's showing sales by month in the whole company history, all the years. And I want to see gross profit percentage. I'm going to drag to my report. So the top shows percentage gross profit, and at the bottom sales. In this example, I'm going to actually ask this to be shown on a dual axis approach because it might be more informative, where the blue bars are the actual sales, and the red line is gross profit. And it's showing that the beginning was kind of swinging heavily. My gross profit percentage and over time is getting stable and slightly going down in the last few years. Quick and easy to get that perspective and build from scratch. The last part of my report is I'm going to see sales by ship to state and how big my deals are. So I'm going to choose ship to state. I'm going to choose how big my deals are with the invoice size. I pick sales. I'm actually going to make this on a new report, so sorry about that. Let's pick it again, invoice size, ship to state sales on a new report. I'm going to tell the tool, show me this on a map. And ta-da! In a map it is. So right now I have bigger bubbles for bigger sales. Let's make the bubbles a little bigger. And the bubble are sliced by large, medium, small deals. So I just built those 3 views, and now I want to make them widgets inside of a dashboard. So I'm going to create a dashboard now that is going to be automatically sized for the size of the screen that I'm looking at. It can be small screen, big screen. And I'm going to put my map. I want to put my churn analysis at the bottom. I'm going to put my detail report on the top left. Just drag and drop. Again, drag and drop, point and click. Now the report is pretty much ready. And that's it. We just created from scratch a beautiful report that has this insight. And if I click save, again, it will be saved into a folder. And any people having access to that folder now will have access to the new report and dashboard. This really allows people, the user that know the business, that know the challenges, that know the opportunities, the threats, they can have insights, build reports and dashboards sometimes, save for their team, and improve the knowledge around best practices. And once, let's say, if I open this report on a mobile device, like on a tablet, and I want to see how I'm doing on the West Coast, I can select even with my fingers on the mobile device, and the tool will automatically filter the whole dashboard according to my selection. How about that? It is super cool. It is sexy, and most importantly, it is inspiring, and it's empowering, and it's easy to use. And that's what really matters. Empower your decision makers to make more and better decisions, more informed decisions by using a tool like this. All right, let me go back to the PowerPoint to wrap up the presentation. So I hope you have enjoyed. What are the next steps? Visit dataself.com. There's plenty of materials, videos, description of the out of the box. Contact your X3 VAR or DataSelf. And we do have year-end promos now in December 2019. So please be sure, if you have budget for a great BI solution, it's a great time to make the investment because you're going to be saving some money. You're getting more out of the investment. I'm going to open for Q&A. All right. Here's my contact information, my email and my phone number. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I know quite a bit about the competitors, so I can give you my perspective if you're shopping for BI and show you how and tell you how DataSelf has been helping companies. If we do business with you, it would be super fun, super exciting. You know, we pretty much have the best technology on the planet for analytics for X3. We do not break the bank against the competitors. Our pricing is reasonable, but we're very efficient. We help a lot, and we do offer money-back guarantee. So we want to be sure you're happy. So we make all possible things to be sure that you're successful and that you become a client reference. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation. Have a great day, and looking forward to talking with you. Thank you.